you've been. All the ups and downs you've been through made you who you are. Dear everything say, yeah. Usakangan resha wori. Everybody might like you now, but they don't know where you've been. All the ups and downs you've been through made you who you are. Do it, do it, do it. If I were when it's I were, what do you? Oh, sing it, baby. You know I can't bring up. Do 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 do. Hey, do 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 do. If I were when the world is like a huge puzzle, and every piece has its own place. If you're trying to be someone else, then who's gonna be you? Only you can be you, can do you, can be you, can do you. So stick to your story, give God the glory. Don't just your toy, keep making your money, and when you're done, don't you forget just who you are. And when you're done, don't you forget just who you are. If I were when it's I were, what do you? Oh, sing your bed when dear I can't bring out to you. Do 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 do. Hey, do 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 do. If I were when they get say to you. But don't you forget, hey, hey,
We are back at it. This is earGROUND, New Voices Amplified, and I'm the king, the one and only, and I roll with nothing but royalty all the time. And today I have another queen in the building, Kim Makumbe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, King Boaz. It's such an honor.
Yeah, it is an honor. It is an honor. I don't know why it took me so long to talk to you, looking at how much music or how much talent you've already put out. But I would try not get ahead of myself. We'll talk about your music a little bit later. Yeah. So now maybe if you can briefly introduce yourself, if you're given 30 seconds to say who Kim is, what would you say?
Okay, so my name is Kimberly Shingai Makumbe, but my stage name as a pop artist is just Kim. And I am 20-something years old, based here in Harare, Zimbabwe. I am fun-loving and bubbly, so we're gonna have a good time if you guys stick to, following through my content and stuff like that. Here we go.
Awesome. Yeah, all right. You are 20-something now, so definitely you are almost a 2000 or a 2000. Yeah, the generation that you haven't given peace. Yeah, you guys are blamed for many things. So maybe if you can, how was your childhood like? How was your childhood? Did you play Makumbe, for example?
I actually did. I had this whole Queen Spirit vibe. So I was the leader of the pack. So
Yeah.
notorious. If you look at me now and who I was back then, you'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Crazy. But I had fun.
Ah, nice, nice. Yeah. So you want to be an aerospace engineer, but before we get
Yep.
into that, yeah, you are already a science genius of not. So why did you
Thank
choose
you.
this type of career, or to aspire towards being an aerospace engineer? Why not accountant? Why not something else? Why aerospace engineer in particular?
Okay, so I've always been a go-getter. So the moment I was introduced to aerospace engineering was one agricultural show here in Harare, Zimbabwe. And I visited the Air Zimbabwe stand. And it was very disappointing to note that at that time, there wasn't much aircraft to speak of, plus the ones that were there couldn't fly beyond the region. And then when I did a little bit of research, I discovered it's actually an African thing. Most of the aircraft here in our continent don't usually cross over continents and things like that. And it comes back to the engines of it. And, so for me, the motivation was mostly because one, it's a male dominated industry, and I like those kind of things. And also just to bring innovation to the continent, for me, that's a huge step to take Africa, a level notch higher in terms of technology.
Yeah, nice, nice. You speak about young people or society in general being bombarded with a multitude of confusing and conflicting voices. What will be some of the messages that you think this is the message that shouldn't be getting so much attention, and what would be a positive message that you would want to talk about?
Pressure. There's a lot of pressure in our generation. People are being pushed to do funny things, mainly because of social media. We see people posting all sorts of stuff, and we want to be that, and we end up thinking that whatever position you are in life right now is not enough, and you want to keep going for things that are probably not along your pathway. So if I was to switch the message a little bit, I would say take your time, be true to your own journey and just follow through with your dreams and your goals, and to define success according to yourself, not according to what you see other people doing.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Right, and now we're coming to you falling in love with music. Uh, when was this? How did this happen? At what point did you think, I think I might be good at this music thing?
To be honest, it's always been, those things that are always constant with you. I think the latest I could date back to primary school. So I was a boarder in grade 1. Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember I was the first grade 1 boarder at the school. So everybody would finish school around 3, 4, and I would finish at 12. So I would go back to the hostels. There was nothing else to do, nobody to talk to. And guess what I would do? I would walk around the trees singing to the trees. So I even had like a 12-track album of sorts, which had only 2 songs in English. The rest were in gibberish. I don't even know what I was singing. But in my head, I had a full 12-track album. So imagine from back then up until now, it's always been there, That's my default setting.
Yeah, all right, nice. So do you remember maybe the first song that you wrote and hoped to record that you were not able to record, besides what you've already put out? The first thing that you wrote, this, I think I've wrote the song here.
Okay, so there are 2 songs actually. There's the grade 1 one, which is funny even if I think of it right now. But the second one, I ended up recording it, but it's not anywhere online. It was a gospel song actually that I wrote it for. That's the first time I wrote something that's actually sensible. And I did record it, but I didn't put it out there online, something in the archives. But yeah, I'm satisfied with it. I will probably share it as time goes.
All right, nice. Yeah, and then we will come back to to what you've done in terms of the music that you've been producing between 29 and now. But before we get into that, you are also many other things. So we'll try and put in as much as we can in that. So maybe talk about modeling. How far have you done modeling, and what type of modeling are you doing?
All right, so in terms of modeling, I never really got into it professionally, but I did have a couple of photo shoots, and I've had people hit me up and be like, Kim, this is amazing. Are you a model? You know, which is weird.
Yeah.
So most of the stuff I've done was advertising a brand. Like there's this young guy from Zimbabwe, very talented. He's currently based in Poland right now, and he makes amazing clothes. And so we partnered, and on one of my photo shoots, I was actually wearing his brand. His name is Cooper Lee with the brand Lee Rivals. So as far as modeling goes, I feel like there's so much more that I can do, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm sure more opportunities are coming.
Yeah, awesome. So as a model, you only dream on being a commercial model, or is there a crown or a pageant that you would like to attain?
I've never imagined myself as a pageant person. Funny enough, that was actually a childhood dream of mine. But if I am to get into pageants, that will probably be in the near future or so. But for now, it would be commercial, just pictures and stuff like that. Nothing
Awesome. Yeah, and also you do motivational speaking. What topics or what kind of audiences do you interact with in terms of being a motivational speaker?
Okay, so it's mostly young people, my peers who are younger than me. I usually talk about self-awareness, being true to yourself. Even in the music, funny enough, the lyrics kind of jump into that somehow. I talk about the power of the mind and just staying positive through life situations. Because like I had said earlier, our generation has so much pressure, and we are being pushed to end up doing things that we weren't meant to do in the first place. So just being true to who you are and your personal journey, that's pretty important to me, and that's the message that I'm.
Yeah, all right, awesome. If I will put you on the spot and put you under pressure and say, just give us a minute of motivational speaking right now, and see you in action.
Okay. All right. So let's say you have a Mercedes, right? Would you go to a Toyota company to have it fixed if you encounter a problem? You wouldn't, right? But you would go straight to the manufacturers of the car. It's the same thing with life. Most times we look for answers to the problems that we have in other people, online, and things like that. Whereas sometimes when you hit a roadblock, you have to go back, not to be too religious, but I believe that we all have a source. We have a power beyond us that, fuels our journey. And if you go back to your creator, and that's the one source where you can get your most authentic self. So instead of trying to mirror what we are being bombarded with in the world as to who we are, we should look deep within ourselves, connect to our maker, and find a way to be true to your personal journey as a person, as opposed to taking on other messages out there.
Yeah, awesome.
I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Yeah. So now in 2019, you decided to get into the studio, and you did the song, "Do You." How was the reception of the song, and how was the process of getting the song together? Because it's easy to dream and say I'm a musician, and it's one thing to then really get down to it and say I'm going to write down something and put it out. How was the process of doing the music, and how has been the reception, or how was the reception of that particular song?
Okay, so for me it was overwhelming, because it was my first, pop song, if we were to put it that way. And the few people, I think it's got like 2,000 plus views on YouTube. The few people who did get to see the music video were like, where have you been? And for something that's your first, it's actually a very positive feedback. It's positive feedback in a way. So that's what sort of pushed me to go full force into the music industry. The process was painful and fun. That's the weird thing when you're like following your passion. It stretches you, but it doesn't weigh you out. So it was. It took me a couple of weeks to get used to, the bounce, because I used to love singing slow, emotional, possibly sad songs.
Yeah.
So getting into the whole up vibe was a stretch, but I loved the entire process. That's what made me realize that this is probably something I should enjoy.
All right. So what was Do You about talking about? What were you addressing in the song Do You? What was the message in Do You? And if possible, just give us a snippet of the song.
All right. I'll start with the snippet. Only you can be you, can do, can be you, can do you. So stick to the story. Actually, it's a song about the identity crisis that we have in the 21st century, especially in our generation. And it's basically talking about how, you shouldn't forget who you are. No matter what level of success you achieve or wherever you are in life, don't forget who you really are and believe in yourself and be happy with yourself, because in Shona we say, meaning you are the ish, So you need to stick to your authenticity and just be yourself and be happy with that, because that's enough.
Awesome. Yeah, and then you went on in 2020, which was I think a challenging time, which still is because of the COVID and the lockdown and whatnot for most artists. And you came up with Shiko. Maybe if you can briefly tell us what Shiko is about and how was the success in trying to push this particular track.
Okay, so Shiko was my first big song, if we were to put it that way. It's about women empowerment. So it's Shego is basically she ego, which is female ego, which is one of the qualities I feel every woman should have. That's what would empower a woman to walk away from situations that don't benefit them or us in this case. So Shego is basically a song about a woman saying, you know what, I love and I expect to be loved back. But there are things that I will not tolerate because of my Shego. Some call it some call it pride, actually. Some call it self value, self-worth, and all of that. But I would call it Shego. So it's basically empowering women out there to stand up within themselves, and just if they don't like something or if they feel a situation isn't necessarily benefiting them or for their greater good, they should be strong enough to walk away from it. So in terms of the process of making Shego and even the feedback that I got from it internationally without even really looking at Zim was amazing. It was like a huge jump from Do You to boom, Shego, and it's been amazing. Trust me.
Awesome. So how do you plug your music internationally, and are you who's distributing your music on Shiko? Because most of the times we have great songs in Zimbabwe, but even if they have a potential to do well outside, I think most of the times people don't have either it's the know-how or maybe they don't care about the market outside the borders because they are still trying to conquer Zimbabwe. So how did you plug in Shiko and where was it played?
All right, so I was privileged enough to work with a record label based in Ireland, Side and K, ran by Tony. So I was working with his record label at that time, and so because he's already outside of Zimbabwe, and also that's the importance of working with the team. Most people don't realize that sometimes you can have a dream, but it takes teamwork to make the dream work, and so he's the one who sort of had his links out there and then just pushed the song out there because it doesn't it's an international standard type of song. Yes, that kind of message means a lot in our country. But the beauty of the internet is, you don't necessarily have to focus on your geographical location, because of even COVID is a blessing in disguise, because the world kind of came together online. So it's easier to, share stuff out there. So that's how I managed to, get the song playing out there. There was a radio station in Switzerland, at some point in South America. It was just literally everywhere, and it's a huge blessing.
Oh, awesome. Now, still on Shiko, we are currently going through the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, and for the majority of female artists and some personalities that I've spoken to on this platform, they, I think, if not 90-something% of them have always expressed being treated or being abused one way or the other. How has this been for you as a girl child in the music industry? Because it seems like it's easy for boys to do this, and it's difficult for women. You are objectified, so to say, and people see you and they see something else instead of seeing an artist. How has this been for you?
All right, so for now, I haven't really dipped my entire foot into the music industry, because it's still my toes. But then from the conversations I've had already with some fellow artists and things like that, it looks pretty bad. At the same time, it all comes down to, I think, us as women just getting together and talking about these things and helping each other out, because people deal with these things differently. Some people would easily give in if they're pressured to, give off a part of themselves so that they can get to a certain level in the music industry. Other people would totally not want to do that. I feel like we as women are the answer to solving these kind of problems. If we come together and actually talk about it and, expose even some of the situations that we find ourselves in and help each other out, I feel like that's the best way to curb such a situation. But I haven't personally directly experienced that kind of situation. So
Awesome. Yeah, now we move on to your song that is doing the waves currently. But before we get there, maybe if we can talk about the Zimbabwean industry, what you've seen, what you've heard, what do you think we can maybe improve, or if you think the industry is doing well, what would you praise in the industry, and how do you see the industry from your perspective? What type of industry do we have, and is there anything that we can do to it for it to be better, or we are okay, we should celebrate what we already have?
I think we are growing. I would certainly think that we are growing. If we look at the past couple of months, how people have been putting out full bodies of work, it's for me, I think that's a huge step, in the sense that people are creating the content and feeding the people with music. The industry being made up of both artists and the crowd, if we should put it that way, the audience. I think we're growing, to be honest. We can't quickly compare ourselves to the international scene. Let's take a look at Nigeria or South Africa. I think as a people in Zimbabwe, we are making progress in the right steps. Of course, there's a lot of other things that we need to talk through. I have seen a couple of platforms coming up where artists are actually talking about different things that they're facing in the industry, and trying to level up and push with the times that we are in, because how COVID kind of changed everything. Yep. So I've noticed that some artists are actually coming up and trying to pull each other up and educate each other on how best we can navigate this entire COVID situation. So I think we're growing. That's what I would praise. We're growing.
All right, awesome. And then I will ask you one thing before we get to nobody's business. Well, people have said one of the things that makes us fail to break through is because we do not have a local sound. What would be your take on that? People think we should have a Zimbabwean sound to make an impact in the world, and they give, for example, an example of Afrobeats and Amapiano recently in South Africa taking over the world, being original sounds. And is this something that you think will help in any way to put us on an international stage?
I think we might have a Zim sound already, but it's a matter of actually I think there's an issue of coming together as a people, like I said before, and agreeing as to how we would want things to go. What makes me say this is how, there was a time when things kind of switched up, and then we had urban groups come in part. I feel like we have control over what we want our industry to be like. And since we are evolving, I think it's something that we could probably sit down and talk about. But I feel like it's not that we are not authentic. We do have, I believe we do have Zim sounds. It's just a matter of, just coming together and agreeing, like agreeing what it actually is. But we do have Zim sounds.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any dream collaborations locally and internationally, people that you would love to work with in the future?
Geez, everyone. As much as I can get. I love working together towards a common goal. So any brand, any person out there who would help me push that, or we could come together and just make something happen, I'm totally open for that.
Yeah, awesome. So I will look for you when I release an album. I will work for you. Yeah. So now 2021, you gave us Nobody's Business, which I think is actually my second most favorite song from your catalog. I love Shiko because of the message. I love Shiko because of the message in Shiko, and I love Nobody's Business because it shows the maturity. It shows the growth, the evolution. If you compare the music that you put out, Nobody's Business really shows that you've been growing, you've been learning. So how did Nobody's Business come about?
All right, so Nobody's Business. It's actually funny how it's a line I've always had in mind, whereby, sometimes when you're trying to do something different that is, not common, it's very easy, especially for our people and our culture. It's very easy for people to shun, something that's different, or shun a change, or not to really accept someone who's trying to break boundaries. So some people come, with a good heart saying, no, Kim, don't do music, do that, And other times it's just, it comes back to the same message that I'm always talking about. You have to be true to yourself and your journey. So sometimes you just have to tell those people, what I do with my life is literally nobody's business, because this is the life I chose. And if you own up to what you are doing and you are responsible for the actions that you take, you cruise through life easier. You won't, start to think, oh my gosh, what is this person thinking about this decision I made? What if it's wrong? What if it's wrong according to who? According to you, or according to the people that are looking at you? So it's just, it comes back to, being true to your own journey. Like, what you do with your life is literally nobody's business. And if you stick to your truth, you will be good to go.
Yeah, awesome. I will not let you go without giving us a bit of Nobody's Business. I know I've been privileged enough to listen to it, but our viewers may appreciate just getting a bit of it, 30 seconds or so of the song.
Okay. This is the life I chose. Nobody's business. Oh, shut up my neck. Oh, no. The sin divided. Oh, nobody's business. Nobody's business. Nobody's business. Nobody.
Yeah, there you have it. That is Kim Makumbe, with the song Nobody's Business. Let's go out and check it out there. So where do people find you on different social media handles? Maybe if you can give people out where they can find your music, and how do they get in touch with you?
Okay, so I am available on Instagram and Twitter as @Kim Makumbe. No underscore, no full stop, nothing, just @Kim Makumbe. For Facebook and YouTube, it's Kim Makumbe Music. And on TikTok as well, it's @Kim Makumbe. If you go on my Facebook, there's a WhatsApp button that takes you straight to my inbox. And if you're interested, I could link you up a WhatsApp group as well, where I post all the latest updates, including the release date for my next song, which is coming soon this month. And also, my music is basically on every streaming platform, particularly Shego and Nobody's Business. So that's Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Deezer, whatever is your favorite streaming platform, you will find it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Kim.
Thank you so much for having me, King Boaz. It's been an honor. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is King Boaz signing out. This is earGROUND. Keep it locked.
The name is Kimmy, baby. Everybody might like you now, but they don't know where you've been. All the ups and downs you've been through made you who you are. Everybody might like you now, but they don't know where you've been. All the ups and downs you've been through made you who you are. Do it, do it, do it. If I were, it's I were, what do you? Oh, sing it, do you want to bring up? Do, 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 do. Hey, do, 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 do. If I were, the world is like a huge puzzle, and every piece has its own place. If you're trying to be someone else, then who's gonna be you? Only you can be you, can do you, can be you, can do you. So stick to your story, give God the glory. Don't trust your toy, keep making your money, and when you're done, don't you forget just who you are. And when you're done, don't you forget just who you are. If I were, it's I were, do you? Who sang your bed where? Dear, I can't hang out to you. Do, 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 hey. Do, 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 do. If I were, when they get